Story title: Sister sent me a wedding gift list of 5 luxury items. I chose the cheapest option, but she texted ... when my sister demanded a luxury gift for her wedding. I chose the cheapest item on her list, a decision that ignited a chain of family drama, unspoken resentment, and an unexpected twist that left everyone speechless. The list: it was a Tuesday morning, the kind where sunlight spills into the kitchen in long golden stripes, making the steam from my tea curl like slow-moving ghosts. I was halfway through my first sip when my phone buzzed on the table. From Alina. Subject: wedding gift list. Even before opening it, my stomach gave a little twist. My sister, Alina, didn't send things. She announced them the way royalty might issue decrees. She was 2 years younger than me, but carried herself like the world was meant to bend in her favor. I tapped the email open. Hi sis, so excited for you to be part of my big day. To make things easy, I've created a curated list of gifts to choose from. These are all items I've wanted for so long, so please pick whichever feels right. Can't wait to see what you choose, love. Below her message was a link. I clicked it, and my eyes nearly popped out. Item 1, Chanel diamond drop earrings, $4,850. Item 2, Louis Vuitton Capuchinis handbag, $6,200. Item 3, Dyson Airwrap complete set gold edition, $899. Item for Montblanc Meisterstuck rose gold fountain pen, $1,250. Item 5, Cartier love bracelet, $7, 600. My tea went cold as I scrolled, each price tag hitting like a slap. It wasn't the fact she had expensive taste. Alina had always been drawn to shiny, unattainable things. It was the expectation. She'd sent this list like it was normal, like we were all walking around with spare thousands in our back pockets. Leaned back in my chair and stared at the screen, a slow wave of irritation washing over me. I worked in marketing for a mid-sized firm, my rent alone swallowing a third of my paycheck. The last time I spent over $500 in one go was when my car's transmission died, and yet here I was, staring at a menu of luxury goods, none of which I could buy without sacrificing, say, eating for a month. The email didn't even say if you'd like, or no pressure. Just pick whichever feels right. I could already hear my mother's voice. It's her wedding, Beta. It's special. You can't give her something ordinary. The old knot in my chest, the one that came from years of being compared, measured, and found lacking next to Alina, tightened. I closed the tab, but the images stuck in my head. Diamonds, gold, designer logos, the symbols of a world that had never belonged to me, but always seemed to open its arms for her. And deep down, I knew whatever I chose would say more than just congratulations. It would speak of where I stood in the invisible hierarchy my family never admitted existed. The kettle clicked off behind me. I poured myself another tea, this time stronger. Something told me this list was just the beginning, the pressure. The first ripple came an hour later, in the form of our family WhatsApp group name. Shoddy countdown. Aunt Farah had just posted a selfie from a bridal boutique, captioned, "Can't wait for the big day," followed by a rain of red heart and champagne glass emojis. Then my cousin Sana chimed in. "So, who's getting her the Cartier?" A minute later, Uncle Rayhan replied, "I thought Ami was buying the handbag." Then my mother, the master conductor of subtle manipulation, entered the chat. "Alina deserves something special from her own sister. You'll never get another chance to give her a once-in-a-lifetime gift." There it was, the first note of expectation, sweetened. With guilt, I typed back something vague, still deciding. But the group had already moved on to sending screenshots of items from the list, gushing over them like they were sacred relics. That evening, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a call. "Hello," I answered, already bracing myself. "Beta." My mother's voice poured through, warm but laced with something heavier. "Have you thought about Alina's gift?" I saw the list, I said cautiously. "It's nice. She's only getting married once, you know. And people will notice what you give." "Notice?" I frowned. "It's not a competition, Mom." "Of course not," she said quickly. "But in our family, presentation matters. If you give her the cheapest thing, people might think, what I cut in, sharper than I intended." She hesitated. "Might think you don't wish her well." I closed my eyes. There it was again, the unspoken rule that love in our family was measured not in words, not in effort, but in the weight of gold and the gloss of a price tag. "I'll get her something from the list," I said finally, just to end the call. But as I hung up, a stubborn voice in my head whispered, "And it'll be the cheapest thing she's listed." 2 nights later, I lay in bed, scrolling through the list again. My thumb hovered over the Dyson Airwrap $899. It was still ridiculous. But compared to the others, it was practically modest. I clicked purchase, and that's when the second ripple came, a ping on my phone. From Alina, message, "Seriously? This is all you think I'm worth?" The text glowed on my phone screen like a neon sign. "Seriously, this is all you think I'm worth?" No hi, no emoji, no softening punctuation. Just 8 words, a blunt instrument meant to bruise. I stared at it for a few seconds, letting the heat rise up my neck. My first instinct was to fire back something equally sharp, but instead I took a deep breath and typed, "It's still a very nice gift." Alina, her reply came instantly, like she'd been waiting with her thumbs poised. "It's the cheapest thing on my list. Everyone else is going all out, and you're, what, cutting corners?" I bit my tongue. If she knew the juggling act I'd been doing with rent, bills, and my perpetually dying car, maybe she'd think twice. But explaining that to Alina always felt like shouting into a hurricane. She'd grown up in the same house as me, but it was as if we'd lived in parallel worlds, hers painted gold, mine patched together with duct tape. "You asked me to pick something from your list," I typed slowly. I did. There was a pause, this time, long enough for me to start hoping the conversation was over. "But then, it's embarrassing, you know. People will see my maid of honor's gift is more expensive than my sister's." That's telling. Something inside me snapped. I sat up in bed, the covers tangling around my legs like they were trying to keep me from leaping into a fight. Telling of what? That I don't love you, or that I don't have a spare $7,000 lying around. Her 3-dot typing bubble appeared, then disappeared. Appeared again. Forget it. I'll just tell people you're getting me something else. That was the thing with Alina when she couldn't win the argument. She rewrote the narrative. I tossed my phone onto the bed and got up, pacing the room. The more I thought about it, the more absurd it became. This wasn't about the gift. This was about image. About her perfect Instagrammable wedding, where every detail, including her sister's generosity, would be part of the curated display. She didn't want me there. She wanted a version of me that could afford to play the role she'd written for me. And suddenly, a thought slid into my mind. Dark, satisfying. Fine, Alina, I thought. You want a gift that makes a statement. You'll get one, but it wouldn't be the statement she was expecting. The text the next morning. I woke up to a notification that made my stomach knot before. I even unlocked my phone. New messages, shoddy countdown. I tapped it open, already knowing this couldn't be good. Right there, in the middle of a flood of wedding updates, was a screenshot of my order confirmation for the Dyson Airwrap, posted by Alina herself. Her caption underneath read, "Well, guess my hair will look nice at least." No names, no outright insults, but the message was as clear as a glass of still water. She had put me on display, turning my choice into a family spectacle. Within minutes, the replies poured in. Aunt Farah, "Oh, that's thoughtful." Cousin Sana, "Ha ha ha, guess it's the thought that counts." And then, inevitably, my mother, Beta, "Maybe we can still change it. I'll help you pick something more suitable." I just stared at the screen, my thumb frozen over the keyboard. It wasn't just embarrassment anymore. It was betrayal. Alina hadn't confronted me privately. She'd invited the whole family to pass judgment, cloaked in playful emojis and faux sweetness. I closed the app before I could say something I'd regret. But my pulse wouldn't slow. The kettle boiled over in the kitchen, but I didn't move to turn it off. My mind was spinning too fast. That's when my phone buzzed again, a private text from Alina. "You could still fix this. You know, it's not too late to get something worthy." Something worthy. As if my value as a sister hinged on how many zeros I could tack onto a price tag. I typed out 3 words, my fingers steady now. "Don't worry, I will." And I meant it, though the fix I had in mind was nothing she could ever predict. The confrontation 3 days later. I found myself standing in my parents' living room, staring at the woman who used to braid my hair before school and share my stash of chocolate biscuits when Mum wasn't looking. Now, Alina was perched on the edge of the sofa like a queen on a throne, scrolling through her phone with the casual air of someone expecting others to orbit her. "I got your text," she said without looking up. "And I have to say, I'm relieved you're willing to fix this." "Fix what, exactly?" I asked, my voice cool. She looked up then, her expression sharp. "You really want to do this?" "Do what?" "Talk about the fact that you sent me a luxury shopping list and then broadcast my choice to the entire family." Her eyes narrowed. "I didn't broadcast anything. I was just sharing what people had gifted me."